Tennessee recently sold 2 public parks to nonprofit organizations. In fact, the city council in Memphis specifically voted in favor of selling these public parks to nonprofits. Now, as soon as the sale happened, the nonprofits decided that they wanted to do away with the Confederate statues at these parks. But lawmakers in the state of Tennessee were not having it and have actually retaliated against Memphis. Let me give you the story. Lawmakers voted to take $250,000 away from the city of Memphis after its decision to take down Confederate statues. Now again, let me be clear, the city did not make that decision. The nonprofit organizations that purchased the public parks made that decision. But nonetheless, the Republican-dominated state House decided to take away the money, which was meant to be used next year for a bicentennial celebration by passing an amendment attached to the House appropriations bill. Representative Andy Holt from Tennessee was quoted as saying, "Today is a demonstration that bad actions have bad consequences. And my only regret about this is it's not in the tune of millions of dollars."
So let's go over this. Bad actions have bad consequences. So the 2 statues they're taking down are of Confederate President Jefferson Davis and Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest. Now, the president of the Confederacy, well, you know what he did. He led a revolution against a country called America. All right, but you might not know much about Nathan Bedford Forrest. So he's a complicated character, and if you're studying him in history books, you'll find out that he had an interesting arc in his life. He was considered one of the best generals in the South or the North, and even General William Tecumseh Sherman from the North said he was probably the most remarkable man our Civil War produced on either side. He came in as an enlisted soldier and became one of the top generals, like I said. He didn't have an education, but got to that point. Later on, at the end of his life, he renounced some of his previous thoughts, and this was a big deal at the time, received flowers from a black girl in the South. Like that was, whoa, she's dirty, how can you receive flowers from her? Okay, now, let me tell you the reason why you shouldn't have a statue of him. He was the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. And not only did he fight for the Confederacy, but at the massacre at the Battle of Fort Pillow, after the Northern soldiers surrendered in that particular battle, he took all the black soldiers and executed them. And he took all the white Southern soldiers that had fought with the Union and also executed them. They say, well, it wasn't clear whether he ordered the execution or just watched it because they're black. And you had to teach them a lesson that you cannot rebel. If you do, you're gonna get a bullet in the head, even if you surrendered. And you got a statue of that guy up? Study him in the history books, find out about his complicated history. But I'm not having a statue of the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan who executed innocent soldiers from the Union Army, especially because of the color of their race, in the middle of Memphis. And then you tell me bad actions, taking down a statue. That's the bad actions that this deeply racist Republican in Tennessee would like to give bad consequences to. I'm gonna take your money away if you don't celebrate that racist piece of crap who rebelled against the United States of America. So that's the message that Republicans are sending.
Yeah, and they made money. They sold property off from state control to private control. So you should be in support of that if you're like a true conservative. Also, there's still so many racist monuments everywhere. Just take a ride down to Nashville and find that one guy just outside Nashville who put up that weird, Google it if you can, weird Nathan Bedford Forrest statue. There's still plenty of them for you to look at. It's a giant like 15-foot statue where he looks crazy and he's made of like gold and silver shooting a gun in the air. There's plenty of statues for you to go see. This is not one you should be getting your panties in a twist over.
I always wonder how many people have allowed their dogs to urinate on these statues, because we know that it happens. And I also wonder, like, how often do the people of Tennessee go to these statues before they were taken down and enjoy them? Right? Like, I bet that they're overlooked. No one cares except for maybe the black people that live in the state and have to deal with that type of torment on a regular basis. But it's funny because as soon as you bring up hey, we should probably take these down because it's insulting to the black members of our community, that's when people get up in arms and they want to protect the statues.
Just go buy them. Go buy them back if you love them so much. Go make enough money and go buy them back.
And put it in your backyard
Yeah.
and celebrate your racism that way. So you know why he eventually left the Klan? Because as they were terrorizing and murdering and lynching blacks across the South, he thought they weren't disciplined enough. So that's the guy you're celebrating. Own up to it. Own up to it. Either you're deeply ignorant and know nothing about history and you should be incredibly ashamed that you're talking about it at all, or just raise your hand and say, I love celebrating terrorists who murdered innocent African Americans and started the Klan. So one last thing, guys, I'm gonna go to graphics 63 and 64 because again, some of the folks that are right wing in the South apparently need a history lesson. They're not very bright and they haven't studied very much. So I want to show you the flag that some of them celebrate. This is the flag that the Confederacy used in battle. You're familiar with it, the Confederate flag. That's what they rode into battle waving. On the other side was another army, and they also had a flag. You want to see what that flag looked like as they rode into battle? It looked like this.
I'm really offended that there are certain people in the country that don't respect our flag.
That's right. Those people started a war against America. They're traitors, and in his case, he was a terrorist. You want to have that terrorist statue up there? Yeah, at least we know exactly where you're coming from. What you just watched was one of the videos that we do today, but we actually do a whole 2-hour show every single day. It's a podcast. You can watch it in video or listen to it as audio. You can download it, you can stream it, and you get it completely ad-free if you could become a member of the Young Turks. tytnetwork.com/join.